Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. Judgment. The best deceptions are the ones that seem to give the other person a choice. Your victims feel they are in control, but are actually your puppets. Give people options that come out in your favor, whichever one they choose. Force them to make choices between the lesser of two evils, both of which serve your purpose. Put them on the horns of a dilemma. They are gored wherever they turn.
Having so found, in summary, I find that the state did not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant, Michael Brillo, knowingly caused the deaths of Timothy Russell and Melissa Williams because the essential element of causation was not proved for both counts. I therefore find the defendant not guilty of counts 1 and 2 as indicted. The state did prove the lesser included offense of felonious assault on both counts by demonstrating beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant knowingly caused serious physical harm to both victims.
This court finds that the state has failed to meet its burden on all charges. Therefore, there is a finding of not guilty as to every count in each defendant of conspiracy, official misconduct, and obstruction of justice.
Today, a jury in Pennsylvania found a police officer not guilty of murder. She had shot an unarmed man in the back, a killing that was captured on video, which is difficult to watch.
Fired Mesquite police officer wants his job back after a jury found him not guilty of aggravated assault for a police shooting.
Yeah, the verdict caused an emotional eruption in the courtroom.
We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action and upon our oaths, do find the defendant, Philip Mitchell Brailsford, on the charge of count 1, second-degree murder, not guilty.
And now to our other developing story, a not guilty verdict for a Cleveland police officer who shot 2 people in a car after a high-speed chase. That city on edge tonight. The police chief asking parents to keep their children home, warning police will not tolerate any violence. As the verdict came down, officers in riot gear bracing for protests. That acquitted officer, one of 13 who fired 137 shots at that car, killing the occupants inside. That acquitted officer stood on the hood, firing directly into the windshield.
The Arizona Peace Officers Bill of Rights provides police and detention officers with important protections, but only if you know about them. I'm Steve Serbalik, and I'm a panel attorney with ASCOPS in Arizona. The Peace Officers Bill of Rights is a series of statutory protections that govern disciplinary actions against non-probationary officers for issues that could result in termination, demotion, or a suspension of 8 hours or longer.
Today in Minnesota, a police officer was found not guilty in the shooting death of a black driver. Dean Reynolds is following the trial.
It's okay for them to kill him. As the jury's acquittal sank in, emotions spilled onto the plaza outside the courthouse in St. Paul.
Damn! What is it gonna take? I'm mad as hell right now. Yes, I am.
Valerie Castile is the mother of Philando Castile, who was shot to death by police officer Geronimo Yanez during a routine traffic stop almost a year ago.
This city killed my son, and the murderer gets away.
We got pulled over for a busted tail light in the back.
The case gained national notoriety because the immediate aftermath of the shooting was live streamed on Facebook by Castile's girlfriend, Diamond Reynolds.
He was trying to get out his ID.
That's Yanez screaming at her with his gun still drawn.
I told him not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
In the midst of the traffic stop, Castile told the officer he had a firearm. But Yanez insisted on the witness stand that when Castile reached into his pocket, he feared for his life and fired off 7 shots, 5 of them hitting Castile. Reynolds said Castile was simply complying with the policeman's request for identification.
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his driver's license.
John Choi is the Ramsey County prosecutor who charged the policeman with manslaughter.
He went beyond what the law requires. He was compliant, he wasn't resisting, and at the end of the day, this was a traffic stop. Unfortunately, the jury didn't see it that way.
Late today, it was announced that Yanez will no longer be a police officer at the suburban department where he worked, but we'll have to wait and see, Scott, if that's enough to calm the protests that are planned for later tonight.